Hello people, and welcome to Crypto Exposed. Wolf of Wall Street explains why XRP is dumping harder than most. Okay guys, let's get into it. Okay, so I've took a quick scan over this just to see what the guy is saying, and to be honest with you, I just wanted to add my own interpretation of this because I think for me this kind of makes the most sense. So one thing I'll just quickly jump over and just gloss over is what the Wolf of Wall Street is saying. He's basically saying it's now in the air pocket, as you'll see mentioned in the title. What he's saying basically is that we've got to a point where we've hit a lot of selling pressure and we're getting to a point where there's not a lot of buying interest to start to like formulate a bottom, basically. So obviously what happens is when the order books are not looking very high for buying orders, the selling pressure is obviously being the most dominant force here, which is dropping down the price. So obviously you hope to get to a point where eventually you start getting a lot more buyers at certain prices, and that's when it starts to stabilize the price a bit more. And obviously when buyers are overtaking the selling pressure, you then get buying pressure, which raises up the price. So he's just basically saying we're at a point now where there's not a lot of buying interest, which I think is fair, like in that regard. Like maybe there's not a lot of buying interest, and I think the reason for that is it's looking like the whole market's dumping, right? Like, look what Bitcoin's dropped to. So this isn't like a thing where it's just XRP specific. And, people speak about this and like I saw someone who said it's because of the e-files, if you know what I'm talking about there, Mr. E. The e-files where it come out that, XRP was being targeted by powerful people. To me, I'll be honest with you, I don't even think it's that. Like, I think people are just trying to attribute things by, using whatever they can, whatever news they can to, just explain that, hey, we're just crashing. Like, look at the whole market. Now, the thing that I want to get into is why, XRP is dumping harder than other cryptocurrencies. And to me, I think the answer is quite simple, and I think it is the right one. I think it's simply because XRP was one of the biggest performers. So what goes up must come down. And obviously, because XRP got a lot higher than most other cryptocurrencies, it's got a much further fall. It's got a much further decline. And so to me, that's the simple answer to this, to be honest with you. I don't really think there's a lot to it. I don't really think it's that complicated. I just think XRP was one of the only assets. And I know this because I've got 20 different cryptocurrencies. And there were some cryptocurrencies during this, let's say, quote unquote bull run, that didn't even move. Like they barely moved. And I'm talking about some good cryptos as well. I'm not just talking about like meme coins and stuff like that. Like I've got a couple of good cryptos and I'm like, wow, like how did nothing happen? Now, a lot of people still say that there's still a bull run in play. I don't know. Obviously, it's not looking good at all, to be honest with you. But I'll have a quick conversation about that actually, because there's something I want to talk on that as well. But yeah, like XRP was one of the biggest performers in this run. So if you think about it from that perspective, if it's got that much higher, yes, it's going to drop that much because yes, it's going to drop that much more because there's some cryptocurrencies that barely moved anyway. So as the market's dumping, it's not moving that much because it's not moved hardly from its bear market lows. It's literally, moved a few percentage. So yes, it's only going to drop a bit more percentage because it was already down anyway. With XRP, it got so high that yes, it's going to drop a lot more. It's going to have a much more of a bigger impact. So to me, that's the simple answer to this. Now, just have a quick conversation about where we are. We've got a wealth manager here who says he's shorting XRP and he says if you're still holding XRP, you should be worried. Look, I'll say this. I think if you're still holding XRP and, any crypto, you should be worried. Like, it's not like, oh, it's only XRP. And this is the thing that I don't get when people do this. It's like, they talk like XRP is the only cryptocurrency that's fallen. It isn't. There's been plenty of cryptocurrencies that have fallen. Bitcoin dropped down to, I believe it got down to like $60,000 from $126,000. Like the whole market is dumping. This isn't XRP specific. So if you're saying you should be worried, well, you should be worried for the whole crypto market. It's not like you can see, hey, all these cryptos are dropping and then there's this one that's just crazily going on a huge run. No, the whole market's dropping. So that's my first thoughts. The next thought I'm going to get into is just where we are. in terms of the actual bull run, bear market. So I've been following two specific analysts during, from basically, I followed Blockchain Backer for years, but I started following Credible Crypto from about last year as well, because I've noticed he had some good analysis. And it's quite funny because they both had opposite takes. Blockchain Backer says we're in a bear market. He was calling a bear market the whole time and saying that the price was going to go down. Now, Credible Crypto was saying, no, we're in a bull run. We're absolutely fine. Now, the thing for me about the October 10 event, right, when we had the liquidation event, the thing for me about that is I still am convinced that it was manipulated. So my only thing with Blockchain Backer with this is, okay, you were right in the sense of it went down, but if it was a coordinated attack, could you have seen that coming, right? Like, if someone manipulates the market, is that really fair to say that you were right, or was it that people manipulated the event which led to you being right? That's my only thing, right? Now, okay, we could say, at this point, the market has continued to go down from there, though it's not rebounded. Fair enough. My only thing I'll say is, let's just say the liquidation event hadn't have happened in the first place. Bitcoin was at $126,000. So where would it have got to had that not have occurred? That's my thing. So we can all be here and say, yeah, it's all dropped down now, whatever, the sky's falling. But, had that not have occurred, the liquidation event, would Bitcoin have continued to go up then? Now, who knows? Maybe it was going to drop anyway. Maybe it just wouldn't have been as severe had the event not have been manipulated. I don't know. I have no idea. We'll never know. That's it. That's something that we can only question at this point. But I do still think that that's what led to that scenario. So, my thing here now is this. Blockchain Backer is basically saying we've actually been in a bear market for roughly around a year now. He's saying, we're actually almost out of the bear market, because what he's saying is you don't realize you're in a bear market until it's too late, and you don't realize you're in a bull run until it's too late, right? And so he's basically saying right now everybody's starting to say bear market, but what he's saying is we're basically finishing the bear market because this is the final collapse. So he's essentially saying that we're pretty much now just finding what the bottom is going to be, and then we'll start going into bull run territory because the price will start rising up. But obviously when it's going up, people will just think it's going to drop again at some point, but not realizing this is the bull run. It's starting, it's going back up in value. But they won't realize it until it's going to new all-time highs. But what he's saying is at that point, you don't realize you've already been in a bull run. The bull run has been the whole move back up to all-time highs and then surpassing all-time highs. Now, Credible Crypto, he's dropped a video. I haven't had a chance to watch it, but he essentially is saying that even if Bitcoin doesn't have another run up anymore, because he had a thesis of as long as $74,000 held, he said Bitcoin was going to have another run up. Clearly that's been breached. He then said, well, even if Bitcoin doesn't have another run up now, he's saying that we would still have an alt season. So he's still hanging on to the theory that we are still going to have an alt season at some point. Right. I don't know if that's obviously the case. Like, I'm just telling you what these guys have said. But the thing that I did find interesting here, and this is what I do want to say, they both still said that we'll have a blow off top for altcoins this year. And this is the thing that I just wanted to get into. If, let's just say, we do have an alt season rally this year, but we do still have it. The question I guess you go to is, was Blockchain Backer right in saying that, hey, we was in a bear market, we've now gone into a bull run, and that's what's, led to the alt season rally? Or do you go with Credible Crypto, who says, no, we were still in a bull run, we just had a bit of a pullback and a consolidation phase, and then we went into the alt season rally? My thing is this, look, I don't care, to be honest with you. If we still get our alt season rally, who cares about the pedantics and the semantics of, oh, was it a bull run at that time or was it a bear market? I don't care. All I need to know is it still going to happen this year? And the one thing that they've both said is that's still going to happen. My thoughts was, when they was first saying this, was I thought Blockchain Backer was saying, okay, we're in a bear market, we're going to have to wait a few years, as opposed to Credible Crypto, who was saying, no, we're still going to have our bull run this year. But no, Blockchain Backer is saying, no, we've just had a bear market, like a short bear market, and then we'll go back into a bull market this year. So I'll just say this, like, even though they're both saying different things in terms of their thesis of how we've got here and what's going to happen, they both believe that we're going to have a bull run at the end of this year. Now, is that going to happen? I don't know, guys. I have no idea. The market's not looking good right now. I'm not in a position to tell you what's going to happen. I don't know. I'm just sharing with you what they're both saying. So I hope they're right. I really do, because obviously I would love to get our bull run this year, seeing as we didn't get it last year and it was looking like we was primed to have it. I hope we do get it, but we'll have to see. So I'll leave it at that in that regard. But the thing for me is, you know, I never sold my XRP at $3, and I have no regrets about that. Like, even if, let's just say, we do go into a bear market and let's just say we don't get a bull run this year, I will not regret not selling at $3, because to me, it just wasn't enticing enough. It just wasn't. So if I have to wait longer to get to a price point that I'm happy with, I'll do that personally, because I do believe XRP is going to go higher ultimately. And so for me, if I have to wait longer to get that, then I'm willing to do that, basically. So obviously for you guys, I don't know. You guys might have felt, yeah, I should have took some profit and got out, and maybe some of you did, because I know some people offered the back of blockchain backers analysis did sell, and great for them. They clearly made a good call there. For me personally, like, I'm not trying to like trade and stuff, and so for me the profit what I was looking at wasn't enough for me to feel enticed to want to sell some, so I just wasn't willing to. And I will sell some XRP in the bull run, I will, but that just wasn't enough for me personally. So, you know, as far as I'm concerned, like, obviously, would it be frustrating if we have to wait more years? Yeah, of course. I'm hoping that we get it this year. I'm hoping that's the case. But I am willing to wait if needs be, because I believe it is going to go higher ultimately. So I'm willing to wait for that. So just thought I'd share my thoughts on this, just give you some context and just give you a general update on what's being said about the market. Hope this has helped. Thank you very much for watching this. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. And hit that bell. Take care.